Welcome back to Big Mama's house, y'all. It is a beautiful Sunday here in the Midwest. It is crazy hot. It's like 100 degrees or
Yep,
something outside.
close.
Don't even know what it is with the index, the heat index. But we're lovely and cool by the grace of God with our home and central air conditioning, and we're nice and cozy.
Yep.
Um, but just a reminder to all of you out there, I know everything's really dry. We haven't had a lot of rain. Don't forget to leave water outside for your little bird and squirrel friends and anybody else who might come by looking for a drink since it's been so dry out. Um, an interesting thing, I haven't had a chance to talk a lot with Papa this week because it's been a little busy.
Yeah.
Um, but whenever you file taxes, you have to list a phone number. And, because you don't even set up your voicemail, I list my number for everything.
Yes.
So
That's good.
for
They
you,
don't bother me.
that works out well for you. Yes. I got two surveys last week texted to me, and one was from the National Institute of Health, and it was collecting data about COVID. And have you had anyone in the house had it? What were the, symptoms?
Yeah.
You still have symptoms? Just it was like a survey that went through all like different COVID things. And then the next day I got another one regarding the economy. And it was from like, I don't remember which branch of the government it was, but and it was wanting to know like
Probably revenue service, you think? Maybe.
I don't know if it was the IRS or it was I don't remember what it was. But anyway, it was asking about like do we rent or buy, what's our income? Has it changed? How many people live in your house, and ask about like what kind of foods you're able to buy. Um do we think it's better, like do you think prices have gone up? Or do you think inflation is too high? Things like that. It was just money related.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I wonder how many people took the time to fill that out. Because everybody has to list a phone number for on your taxes, and I'm assuming that's where they get, because once the government's got it, they've all got it. Um, how many people do you think just didn't respond?
Probably a lot. Knowing I probably wouldn't have responded, you know. So it's probably trash. There's probably trash mails. What people do, they see it and they probably just throw it in
Immediate
the trash.
spam.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even if it's from the government. I mean, because it literally says it's from whatever branches, whatever, and you go to, and it takes you to a website
Okay, they might have opened it up and seen it first and then threw it away.
because it's from the government.
Yeah. Well, they would see it be like a survey, and they don't want to take a survey. He's like, well, that's all this is. Throw it away.
Right.
It's like when you see something in the mail, it looks like a check, and
Well,
you
no,
open
this
it.
was a text.
But no, it was a text.
A text.
Oh,
Yeah, they were texts, and it sent me to a link on a website.
oh, oh. I don't know. Maybe they would think it would be like a scammer, and I wouldn't do it. I still wouldn't do it with a text, and they probably thought it would be a scammer. Probably wouldn't do it. You're probably one of the brave ones that did it.
Yeah, brave or stupid, we'll find out. Stay tuned.
They want our identities. They can have them.
But I mean, it wasn't anything, no personal information or anything like that. It was just yes, no, or like multiple choice things. It wasn't anything. They didn't ask for any of my information. That kind. I mean, they asked like a cow size and like your median income, things like that. But no like personal information, like your social date of birth, thing like
Well,
that.
unfortunately, the government already has all that.
Well, I'm just saying that it's not like even if it was some sort of scam, I don't know on earth they'd be scamming me for because they didn't get any information.
So, okay, I'm thinking maybe more have done it than not.
I hope so because that information is so important.
Yeah.
I mean, back in the day, we would have gotten a thing in the mail.
Yeah.
And it was on paper,
Mm-hmm.
and you'd have to fill it out and mail it back.
And you could have thrown it away or shredded it
And then
instead of doing that.
I think they tried email, kind of the same thing, hit or miss on whether people did it or looked at it or thought it was, spam or whatever. And now I've gotten a few of them, government type survey things from the government. And I just think that's so interesting. Like, and it makes me wonder, like, are they actually going to use the information to like help people? It's like that's the, 'cause I guess that's the point. It's saying like, do you think, people need more help with like buying food and housing and things like that? And I think the majority of I mean, because at least half of the nation is under the poverty line,
Yeah, especially around here,
you
Midwest.
know. And I think that most people need a little bit of help at some point, not forever, but like right now we're going through one of those humps in life where, you know, a little extra help
A little extra help would
wouldn't
be
hurt,
nice. Yeah.
and it's not forever. You're looking for other jobs that pay better or hoping for a nice raise from the place you're at. Um, but in the meantime, again, it's tough.
Yeah.
And I think it's tough for a lot of people out there.
And hopefully, like you said, they'll do something about that, and and maybe it'll be another. I don't know if this is popular with most of our listeners, but a stimulus. I doubt it, but maybe the government's just it is close to voting time again. It's like a little over a year, and that's when they start doing all their stuff again, trying to get on the good side of
Very
people.
true.
So maybe Biden and the White House is like, hey, let's start helping these people out so we get their votes.
Well, and it's not even just for the vote. It's like that. Let's just help people. You
Well,
know.
I mean that's what we want to think, but when it comes to voting season, and it hasn't done nothing since until now. If that's the case, well then it's four votes.
Here's my thought. Instead of spending $250,000 for a seat on a plastic tube to go to the bottom of the ocean with a very high risk of death, how about you donate that money to a food pantry
Exactly. Or
or
shelter. You
yeah,
know,
anything like it. It doesn't have to be some big
or
place,
school.
that might not be. Maybe some skimming is going on and things are getting cheated. Donate it directly to your local small whatever places because those places that need it the most. Bigger cities have more of a budget. They have more of the capability of helping their underserved or
And
underprivileged or whatever. Towns like ours, I think there's maybe one homeless shelter in the county. I mean, we have a women's violence shelter. That's
yeah,
different. But like I think there's one homeless shelter in the entire county, and
lots of churches.
but there's lots of churches, but one shelter. And yeah, I've noticed that a lot more people like online. I've seen like people looking for food pantries, things like that, especially because like kids are home for the summer,
Yeah.
little kids. I don't know about you, but
Like
ours
soup or something like that for lunch.
always were locusts
Mhm.
all day long. I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry.
We don't have that anymore as far as school kids.
Right. I mean, thankfully ours don't eat like locusts that much anymore. So,
Yeah.
but anyway,
And ours can afford their own if they
that was just my thought. I hadn't even had a chance to talk to you about it, but
and they paid 250,000, right? The
yep,
associate well they just paid 250,000 each for their own cemetery, their own grave, basically.
very
That's an
true. The
expensive
most
grave.
expensive funeral.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I'm pretty sure that the guy that owned the company and his son didn't pay themselves to go for the ride. So I think and then one guy I think was the operator. So they really only went down there for the $500,000 that the other two paid.
Well, I mean, yeah, but those other people that paid, they paid for their they paid for the funeral, basically, their grave.
Yes. Yeah.
And don't ever spend that much money on my grave, okay?
I couldn't if I wanted to, love. So speaking of the heat and everything and being lovely summer weather, even if it's been a bit dry,
Really.
we were at the pool yesterday, you and I,
Yep.
and we were thinking it was going to be just a chill hangout and, very, very blah, not blah, but just chill, relaxing afternoon at the pool. And we had just gotten there, and Papa looked at me and he goes, "Isn't that
So and so.
one of our nieces?" And I went, way down here, because they live like way up north from us. Okay. And so I was like, no way. And I couldn't turn my head far enough to see her, you know? So I was like, well, I'll see when we get over there, you know? And then when we were getting in the pool very slowly because of the chilly, chilly, chilly water. I think they must add cold water on the daily in order to keep it that cold.
I think they do because there's a hose like right outside the snack bar area.
But
I
that's
think they
ridiculous.
use that every like must say about if they open at noon, say about 11 o'clock, they probably put it in there. So
And I think they do it to keep people out, and it doesn't work because it's too hot.
it was warm yesterday.
It was,
The water was once you got in there, it was nice and warm.
and it was nice to have half your body in the cold water and half your body out in the heat because then your brain feels balanced and like you didn't get too hot and you didn't get too cold. It was lovely. But the second you got out, and started to dry off. It was very hot very quickly.
Yep.
And and there was a bit of a breeze, so with the cold water,
It is the end of June. It's
well, no,
hot.
oh, I know, but it was the breeze.
The breeze
It
was
was
nice.
chilly in the water, but out of the water, it felt wonderful. But it was a surprise. Four of our nieces were there with their grandma on their mom's side, no relation to us, and it was lovely to see them a bit, outside of the whole family around and everybody being crazy and kids going every direction. It was a really nice afternoon just getting to see them and hang out with them a bit.
Yeah, I mean it was unexpected. It was a
Very.
surprise, so I made and what are your she's our next to youngest niece, I guess, right?
Yes.
Right, where she spent every time that she realized that we were there, she spent the whole time with us.
Yes. Well, and I personally think that she doesn't get enough dude time, like she needs more daddy time or something. And because she was just clung to you, like she was stuck to glue. She went and got her little towel when we got out and laid it out right next to you and ate her little snack. And
It was fun.
yeah, you don't mind being the favorite uncle at all. That little shit-eating grin you got on your face
No,
right
that's
now.
actually the first time we've even interacted.
Yeah, because
Even the holidays, everybody's so crazy at the holidays.
well, and they don't interact with any, if you notice, unless it's the littlest one and her dad, because she's a daddy's girl. The other kids that aren't related to the littlest ones, they don't ever go to a guy because I don't think a guy is around very much. And I'm sure, I mean, he's a good dude. He works hard for his family, but like,
See, if I was just there by myself at the pool, which is weird because I would never go to the pool by myself. But if, say, for example, if I was, they never would have known me.
I don't know.
It'd have been like I'd have been going say their names, like stranger danger type crap.
Well, at first they did because one of them was talking to us and her grandma came up behind us and said, don't be bothering people. Go play over there with your sisters. And she went, but Nana, it's
Mama.
Aunt Mama and Uncle Papa, And she was like, oh, because I haven't seen her in like 15 years.
And that's the first time I ever met her.
Yeah. And so she was like, oh, hi there. I didn't recognize you. And I'm like, yeah, me either. Yeah, because she was never the kindest person.
No, but I mean, they recognized you more than they recognized me.
Well, you had to point out it's Aunt Mama.
Mhm.
And then I used to like, yeah, and Uncle Papa too. And they were like, oh my gosh, hi, la 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 la.
Well, they only ever see us with like winter clothes on usually, because it's the holidays.
Yeah, Thanksgiving or Christmas.
Christmas Eve. We got jackets on, sweaters, sweatshirts, something like that, long sleeve.
The holidays and stuff.
So they never see us, with swim trunks and swimsuit on.
Yeah, so I've noticed that. I have an issue, like, if I see someone out or where I usually see them, I'll be like, man, that person looks familiar. But I can't place them because they're not in the place where I usually see them. You know what I mean?
Yep, and that's probably the same way with her.
Yeah. Because again, we only see them once or twice a
middle
year.
niece, I should say.
Yeah, so this is actually, we saw them last weekend. We went to my dad's house for Father's Day. And we surprisingly saw them yesterday. So seeing them 2 weeks in a row, like we've already used up our quota for the year.
We can't see them on Thanksgiving or Christmas.
I know. I don't know what we're gonna do.
Yeah. We'll have to go somewhere else. Maybe for Christmas we'll go to a Chinese restaurant or something. have some Chinese food.
Oh, that's another story we'll have to tell you guys sometime. Um, but we were gonna talk a little bit today about where Papa is from. I know he's mentioned it a few times. He is from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, PA.
Which is why you're gonna hear a whole lot about the Eagles and Phillies from him. Sometimes
Not on
the
this episode,
Sixers.
or not on Mama's episodes, but
No, but it'll be his Papa Sports
episodes.
stuff, yeah. Um, and one of the cool things that, and I don't think you realized this until a few years ago, but it being a video game and stuff, of course, the girls were or the our kids were aware of it, and the video game and then movies Silent Hill,
Silent Hill, yeah.
and you knew that it was based on a town.
A town that's no longer in Pennsylvania anymore, named Centralia. And it's I mean, when I was younger, I actually, a friend of mine and myself would actually go through that town to go to another town that's called Shamokin, and we'd actually go shoot pool there at a local bar. And we went back. When we was it 2 years ago, August, to Pennsylvania.
That was last year.
Oh, last year we went back last year. We didn't go that way.
Yeah.
The year before, the time before we visited, we actually
2019.
Yeah, 2019. We went to see the town, and we ended up in Shamokin without even going through Centralia because that is no longer there, and it just blew my mind.
Yeah, the entire their entire road. They did an entirely new road
Yeah,
to go around the town basically, and they let the entire town get completely taken. I mean, mature trees are there, already.
and
So
there's
it's
like
been,
6 people still living there. That's it.
and that no one else is allowed
No,
to.
nobody's allowed to move in there and stuff. So, but they still got graffiti highway. Now, if you're not aware of Centralia, you should actually Google it, look it up. It's a really cool story about 1970s. It was a coal mine. Like underneath the ground, they had a coal mine underground, and actually it caught fire, and it is still on fire today.
Yes.
And that is why that's why in Silent Hill it looks like fog. It's not. It's smoke. And they have zombie people, I guess, on that video game and movie, but there's not really zombie people to my knowledge.
Right. You never know.
Lizard wanted to actually go and check out the woods, and I said, no, let's not. I've seen scary movies like this before, and we didn't that time. But who knows? Maybe next time we will. But it was a great trip. But we went to Knoebels, and one of the best amusement parks in the country.
I agree with that.
And I'm not gonna say world because I haven't been all around the world, but country at least. So yeah, I mean, it was a fun trip, and I learned a lot about
Well, with Centralia and because they built a brand new road on a safe area because the giant caverns underground that have been burning for decades now, there are fissures in the ground where the smoke comes up, and that's where you said you get that smoky aura. Looks like fog, but
I think
it's seeping up from the ground.
I think that was in the woods more. We see it much more.
Yeah, right. But there's also, because there's nothing but hollow caverns, there's a lot of sinkholes, which is why the city, state, whoever decided nobody can live here.
Probably the state, but yeah.
And the people that live there, they can't force them out because
they've been there their whole lives.
Yeah, they own the property, but no one else after them can ever occupy it legally. Because of the sinkholes. That's why they completely tried to erase the path to get into where the old highway was in the town, because they don't want people getting caught in a sinkhole.
But it's still open enough to where you can actually, explore certain things. Like I said, they still got graffiti highway there that we went on. Was there for a little bit, and then it just disappeared.
Yeah.
And had that nice big church as part of the whole thing. On top, in the middle of the hill.
Yeah.
So I mean, they still got those kind of things that you can go see.
Which you're not really supposed to, but they've kind of, because so many. I mean, even the day we were there was at least a dozen cars lined up and down the highway, which isn't exactly the safest thing to do either. But there people kind of made like a little road where they had tried to erase it because so many people had driven in and out looking for it. And there were signs posted, stay out, unsafe,
Yep.
all that kind of stuff.
No trespassing.
Yeah, and I just thought it was really sad that the whole town got erased. It's for safety reasons. I get that, but something that sparked an entire franchise. You would think they would get maybe a little bit more of
A tourist attraction.
a historical site kind of thing.
Yeah.
But there's no way to keep people safe. But whatever, that's their issue.
I mean, I understand that, but I think where they have now, I don't think there's any safety concerns because there's no smoke, there's no fire where they're at now.
Hmm.
So now they can make it like the graffiti highway they can make it towards and a little bit, in the woods, maybe, have like a little trail or something.
And be like, this is where this used to be.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, they can make it, maybe even make a state park type thing. We can just go on a trail and see,
The only problem is that nobody would stay on a trail. They would have to build fencing to keep people in, and even then, people are going to get stupid and go where it's not safe.
Well,
And
like people now are getting stupid and going where it's not safe. So.
and the issue is they don't want to get sued.
Yeah. If Pennsylvania doesn't want, yeah. Or that county, maybe it was a county thing too, who knows? But I believe it was a state thing.
Probably, yeah, sounds like it. But it is a really cool to look up the history of it. It is because before we went, that was the number one thing that Lizard wanted to do on the trip.
Yeah, and she was.
And we tried for a couple hours to find that thing for her, and she was so disappointed. And so, in the car, and she was like, "Oh, I'm so bummed. That's all I really wanted on this trip." And I was like, "Was there anything that we can do to, make it better for you?" Didn't she say she wanted to get ice cream or something?
Something like that.
Something, she's so simple. She's such a good kid. But yeah, she was like, "Well, if I can't have the thing I wanted, I guess I'll have ice cream, or whatever."
Well, we ended up going to Knoebels, I think a day or two later, or something like that. That cheered her up.
Yeah, you two went and you,
I left you there alone with my family. Sorry.
No, it wasn't the family, really. It was just your mom and the kids.
Oh, true. And that was all right, right?
And the ex-sister-in-law.
Yeah, she's ex-sister-in-law, yeah.
She popped in and out, but
I think there's gonna be quite a few ex-sister-in-laws before it's all said and done.
yeah, but not only if he keeps marrying them.
Okay, there's gonna be quite a few ex-baby mamas.
He's got 5 now. He
Yeah.
needs to get a vasectomy.
Well,
That's just my opinion.
you need to text them, tell them.
I tried that with my brother when he was having his 4th.
Or your sister.
Who only has 2? Which sister are you talking about?
The one on your dad's side.
She's only got 3.
Yeah, but they keep trying for a boy and
No, they don't.
Yeah, for your dad.
No, they don't. They're not really having anymore.
Oh.
Everybody keeps joking about the son. Because it's notorious in the family that my dad really, 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 really wants a grandson. Because he finally had a son on his 3rd try. But out of with 7 grandchildren of actual his blood, all 7 are girls. So now he's got step grandsons now, which kind of appeases his need for a grandson. But I think if one of our girls could pop out a son and give them the last name, which Lizard is willing to do, he'd probably leave her his house.
Probably.
And all his money.
Yeah.
For the grandson. No, he'd leave it to the grandson. Yeah. How about that?
It sounds about right, yeah.
Families,
yeah.
So weird. But we've had a lot of good times when we've gone to Pennsylvania to visit.
Yeah.
Let's see. We've been to Knoebels quite a few times. We made it to the
fair.
The Bloomsburg Fair.
Finally, right?
After 19 years of hearing about it.
Mm-hmm. Almost 20.
Almost 20. And what else? We tried Centralia. We
really haven't gone. I mean, we spent a lot of time with mom and dad, and
yes,
and the brother, and we spent a lot of time with them. This last time we went to we're just the scary house we were staying at and the fair.
But it was nice though because previously accommodations were not so easy for us. Like we've always been, whenever we've gotten hotel rooms or motels or whatever, we've always shared a room with the girls because well, number one, it's cheaper, and number two, they were at the time too young to really be on their own.
Yeah.
Um, but this time we had all three of the kids, and they're all adults, and it was really nice to be in a house so that, like, especially Tiger could see, like, this is the way we live, and we all pitch in and we all have, for the chores, like who's cooking, who's doing dishes, who's gonna take the dogs out this time or
It's
whatever.
you and me all the time.
Which, because I love being, I love being outside when it's not super hot.
You
And
can let them run loose, which is driving me crazy.
I knew they wouldn't go anywhere, but that I was not there. As soon as I call them, they come, they come running. I even proved to you this morning who they will come to. So, if I call, they'll come a running.
Don't matter. A lot of wildlife out there that we fortunately did not see.
Well, I don't think they would go very far, honestly. I really don't.
Because we were at a house in the middle of the woods, middle of nowhere, I
Yeah,
guess.
it really was the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. It was like the start of a really bad horror
The
Amish
only
movie.
thing that I had issue with the house, and it was my own fault, okay, because I knew there was a lot of stairs. And the stairs weren't even the issue. It was getting in there. It was not handicapped accessible to get into the house. All the doorways were super small. Like I had planned on using my wheelchair some in the house, and it was.
Didn't it say it was handicap accessible?
I think they all say that, and because they're like, oh yeah, if you really tried, you can get them in there. But like I couldn't go outside in the back patio because it was so rocky uneven. Um, there wasn't really a front patio at all, and there was like two steps to get into the house and no handrail. Which for me, I'm always like, hey, somebody give me your arm because I'm not always that steady on my feet. I mean, and I aware of that, but I don't want to use my cane all the time, every minute. Like in the house, I'll just touch the wall or whatever furniture I'm passing, and I'm good. But like to not have a rail to get in and out of the house I thought was just a little bit dangerous. And I know obviously they have different codes there because here you have to have them
Yeah.
for occupancy.
In Pennsylvania, I'm not sure what the law is.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's like some sort of historical building because it's been there
Oh
at
yeah.
least 100 years.
I mean, the inside's been redone.
Well, yeah, I
I'm
mean
sure
the
the
whole
floors
house
have
has
been
been
redone.
remodeled,
Yeah.
but I'm pretty sure those were the original wood floors. You can tell by the way they creak every time you walk.
Plus the sheds outside, they're the original ones.
It looks like it. They're
Yeah.
like a little lean-to.
The wind or something would knock one of them down. But yeah, me and Lizard actually went up. There's a hill of like different stuff planted, and it was like all uphill. I don't know how they did it, but me and Lizard went up all the way up to the top, and there was like a little tree stand where you can see things. We didn't go to the tree stand or nothing, but even standing at the top of the hill where there's like corn and like I think wheat and different
That
vegetables.
was green beans.
And there's some green beans too, peas
Yeah.
probably also.
Oh, maybe it was
It was
peas.
peas, yeah, they had
Yeah.
like little pea pods. Uh, we had fun, I mean, it was hard walking up that big old steep hill.
Mama did not go up that
No,
hill.
no, but Papa did and Lizard did, and it was actually fun up there and getting out of the house and
See, I love just being able to walk out the door and sit there with the dogs and not have to put them on chains. Because I know here it's for safety reasons too, because we live right by a road and there's a lot of little critters that run around and they do like to chase them for a second. But if to chase them, they would be right chasing them into a road. And because we rent, there's no fence or anything and we can't put one up. Um, so, we just have to use like the little chain things, whatever.
and there's always somebody outside watching them with them.
Oh yeah, we don't leave them outside alone. But it was nice that I could just, and it wasn't too hot because there were so many trees. And you know me, if you give me a
Plus, it
beach,
was September.
yes,
So that helped.
yeah, so like, it was like the end of September, so it was nice out. The days they get kind of like pretty warm, but it again with the trees and the shade, it was beautiful. And actually, it would get chilly at night.
Oh yeah, we had to have jackets at the fair.
Yeah, I mean, and I used the scooter thing. I brought a blanket for my legs because I knew if my knees started hurting, I'd be done.
Well, that one night you and I were there, just you and I.
Yeah.
Well, no, the kids were there too. We had to pick them up, I believe.
Yeah.
We were meeting
Because
them.
they'd been there all day.
Yeah, and we were there till like 9:30, 10 o'clock, something like that. It was freezing,
It really was.
and I was in shorts. And I remember you had your jacket on
And my blanket over my knees.
Yeah,
And I was like, I don't know why you didn't listen to me and wear your jeans. Because I know I packed you jeans. Because I thought it might be. And that's why I brought everybody jackets.
well, when all those people are there, it also makes it warmer too when we have like thousands and thousands of people there
Yeah.
at one time. So, but yeah, daytime wasn't bad. Nighttime, like when it was daylight,
As soon
about
as the sun
5:30.
went down, ooh, that went, and it was windy.
Yeah,
That wind is what was ice cold.
but me and the kids went twice, and you went once, I believe.
I did. I got to go around the entire thing, and we saw all the animal exhibits, which was so cute. And then all the different stands and booths and things like that. And we got to hear Joan Jett play from a distance.
Yeah, I mean, that was very moving.
And went. Some of the stalls is what made me crazy at the fair. Like there was all nut Trump stuff you could buy, like flags and T-shirts and hats and mugs
Well,
and
that's a big Trump area, so.
I wanted to burn it down, but
Yeah,
I behaved myself and I did not burn it down.
No, he's burning himself down, so he's doing all that on his own.
Uh,
But as far as like the stands that were there,
yeah,
we call them stalls, I call them stands. We seen a Christmas stand that had a Christmas. We picked out a Christmas ornament
yeah,
when me and the kids were there.
yes.
Um,
And you bought me my snake cane
Yeah.
and the top unscrews,
Yeah.
the snake head unscrews, and there's a
sword.
secret sword inside. That's kind of awesome.
Yeah,
And then I did my usual bedazzly crafty thing and gave it ruby red eyes and
what Jafar and Aladdin's little cane.
yes,
Yeah, you look into it. He
that's right.
makes you.
His were green, but yeah, mine were
That's
red.
true. Yeah,
It's all good.
yours are more evil.
It's for always. But yeah, the different stands that like it wasn't just food and things like that. It was more food upstairs, like on the top,
Yeah,
and then
right.
rides and games, things like that. But there's like the little underground area which was much warmer, so we hung out there for a second.
Underneath the
Where they had like the individual like people like you and me could like rent a booth or whatever. And I thought that was pretty cool because there were so many different things like handmade stuff, which you know me and handmade stuff. I'm always in awe of people and their creativity and their ability to.
The Handmaid's Tale.
No, let's not. We'll save the Scientology thing for when we want to get banned. But it was just like the number of stalls and stuff they have. Like especially the I noticed in that area, um, there's a lot of craft stuff. Like people hand make things like the old way.
Yeah, underneath the bandstand.
Yeah, like furniture and like the quilts were beautiful. Um, all the different like wood signs. Like, didn't we buy you a wood sign or something?
We might have, but I have no idea where it's at. It said maybe it's in a shed because we're going to use it when we. Yeah, I think we're going to use it when we moved, and we haven't moved yet.
Yeah, I think it's got our last name on it or something. But anyway, yeah, there was some cool stuff, and we did get a few little souvenirs while we were there to bring home and have memories.
But you can get a sign with your name on it there.
Oh yeah, they can basically craft anything you want. They just have like a bunch of stuff to display for like examples. So it's so neat. And if you ever get to go there, don't forget to go underneath the bandstand in the little tunnel area and see all like the regular Joe stands, I
Yeah.
call them.
And if you're going to rides, do not go on a Ring of Fire because that thing gets stuck probably once a year. Maybe not at the Bloom Fair, but it gets stuck other places. And you do not want to get stuck at the top.
You got stuck, didn't you?
I did not. I went on it the year after got stuck.
Oh, smart.
And I was screaming like a little girl.
Of course.
I told the toothless little carny guy to leave me to put it down there and let me out, and he just laughed at me with his 1 tooth showing. So, but for more advice, do not go on that Ring of Fire.
I would always. I don't know. I don't like being upside down.
Yeah, that's all upside down.
So I probably wouldn't like that one that much. But there's lots of fun things. Like I noticed if you have to pass through Ohio, to get there. They have an animal preserve.
Yeah.
We're like a drive-through, like, um,
We said we were gonna go see it, but we haven't yet.
yeah, because we're always just like, oh, we're almost there. Let's just keep going.
Well,
And on the way back, we're like, oh, I just want to go home. Keep going.
Pennsylvania also has Reptile Land.
Oh,
That's a
really?
little place that, yeah, when I was a kid, we went there a couple times. But you can hold snakes. They got alligators and different reptiles and stuff there at the
That's why we never went to Reptile Land.
Clyde Peeling's Reptile Land.
That's why we never went there, because none of us want to hold creepies.
And they also have the Little League World Series in Pennsylvania in Williamsport.
Oh,
It's also there every year.
it
So,
is also the home of the Phillies and the Eagles.
but yeah, I'm not going to talk about them here. This is the wrong platform.
Even though you're dying to, you
No,
get that little glint in your
no,
eye.
I'm really not. I'm just happy they won today, so I'm happy about that.
That's why you're in such a happy mood.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Anything else about our Pennsylvania trips? All the many of them.
No, I mean I'm sure we can actually bring it up.
Wait, what about they have the Halloween thing and the Christmas?
Oh, Knobles.
No, the drive-through thing. The everything's decorated.
Oh, the Boulevard.
The boulevard.
Yes, the Boulevard. Yeah, they have that within a town called Berwick. It's just a little thing you drive. It's free. You drive around. You give a donation. Maybe they give you some wise chips, so you'll see Santa there. And you just drive through it, and then there's like little animatronic things just
And the
doing its
lights,
thing.
so many lights. It's so
Yeah.
pretty. And but it's like done in the middle of town. It's
Yeah.
just cool. Like they were ever and there's like, isn't it like each section like people can like basically like adopt that area and dress it up themselves?
No, I'm not sure. It didn't used to be that way. It was actually just the town of Berwick that did it.
So I thought that, well, I've only seen it once. This was many moons ago. So and I couldn't remember if it was that one or something else. Something, but I think it was.
8 years ago, I think, right? 2015 or no? Well, it was probably
It was way before that. Yeah. It was like when I was still working, so more like 07 or 08. Yeah.
it was a long time.
Yeah. But I think that they were had like, because each sec it was like a two big concrete pillars in the middle, for each block. And I thought that different businesses
Well,
had.
business, yeah, they can donate. They don't decorate it. They like,
So they just had a sign said.
yeah.
So no, I
They
remember
get a
seeing
sponsor,
business signs. Yeah.
so you can.
There you go. That's what I was looking for.
So they sponsor a section and get their sign out. Like Berwick Industries, I'm sure was there. Wise Potato Chips, of course, because that's what the chip they give out, and different other businesses there.
Nice. So there you go. Several things to do in Pennsylvania if you're not just going for a game or to college.
Yeah, there's a college there called Bloom U. You can actually go there. It's I
That's
work.
Bloomsburg
Yeah,
University for regular people.
Bloomsburg University. You can go there and I mean,
Party.
party and get an education.
You've shown me the campus several
It's
times,
pretty big.
and it's very nice. I mean, it looks good. The children were thinking, because at one point we are thinking of moving to Pennsylvania very seriously,
Mhm.
and they were like, "Oh, we can go there," and we go, yeah, be by you and Dad, and that never happened.
Yeah,
But
yeah. You never moved.
someday we'll get to the place where we belong, which is Hawaii.
Yes,
So
not Pennsylvania.
we will talk about Hawaii next time. So I guess for this lazy Sunday, that'll be it for today. I hope you guys have a wonderful, safe week, and we'll see you. Well, not see you, but we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.